The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
It has been nothing short of exciting as the NP3 designed Speed Weeks at Daytona, and the countdown to the Daytona 300 is at 2 days, but tonight the focus swings to the SIMRacingApps Grand National Series as they open the season with the NP3 Designs 200 at Daytona. Welcome to the World Center of Racing. I'm Chris Scala. Tanner Sharp is with me tonight. Also, Joe Peak. He's taking care of us behind the scenes, and Central Florida's own Dougie Beard on camera. Now, Tanner, tonight starts a new era for the Grand National Series. They got a new sponsor with NP3 Designs. They got no more chase. Their point system, it's pretty much the same as NASCAR, but they got their own little twists and tweaks to it. Let's talk about this NP3 Designs 200 that we're going to see tonight in Daytona.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. 80 laps of racing tonight. That's 200 miles. At lap 40, the top 10 drivers will receive bonus points from first place getting down to 10 to the 10th place driver who will receive 1 point. The difference between NASCAR and the Premier Racing League is that the caution will not come out at the halfway point. They will continue to race Sunday, tonight, and Sunday night we had 3 wide racing, 3 by 3 by 3 for about 4 or 5 rows back from multiple laps, and the race ended with a big wreck in the tri-oval, and I expect the same for tonight.
It's going to be a wild one, as always, here in the Premier Racing League. They put on a great show, as you mentioned, Sunday night. It's Tuesday now. Sunday night when the trucks were in action there, what a wild one it was. DJ Beverly came out with the win there. Now, Tanner, for those who are new to watching sim racing here on the Global Sim Racing channel, tell us about this Daytona International Speedway.
Well, Chris, if you race Formula One, you want to say you won at Monaco. If you race IndyCar, you want to say you won at Indianapolis. If you race NASCAR in any series, you want to say you won at Daytona. They call the Daytona 300 and the Daytona 500 in real life the Great American Race. Tonight's race, I call it the Great Unpredictable Race. Daytona International Speedway is 2.5 miles in length, 31 degrees of banking. That is very, very steep. The tri-oval is 18 degrees of banking, which is about as steep as a ranch house, as a roof of a ranch house. 80 laps, 200 miles of exciting side-by-side racing.
It is going to be a lot of fun this evening, as you said. I like the Great Unpredictable Race. It's definitely a good one. I know we've come up with a bunch of different terms for racing here at Daytona, but it's just going to be a blast. And when it's all over with, one person's going to be in victory lane, and it'll be the start of this 3-segment season that the Premier Racing League has. Tanner, talk about that.
Yeah, definitely 34 race season, 3 and 11 race segments where a champion will be crowned. The third and last segment will be crowned at Rockingham. The week before the finale at Atlanta, their 34th race at Atlanta, they will crown a season-wide champion.
Now, we've had over 80 entries into this Grand National Series. It's actually a free series to get into. The Grand National side of it is the trucks and the Patriot Fire Cup Series. Those guys, you're paying amounts to get in, where this Grand National Series, they've left it free, and they have over 80 people who have joined, and a lot of people who are here tonight for Daytona, but only a certain amount are going to qualify for this first NP3 Designs 200 here at the Daytona International Speedway. Now, Tanner, let's talk about what you think is going to be the strategy. Obviously, track position tonight is going to be huge, but these B cars that they're going to be driving, they can be pushed, and you can make that outside work.
You can definitely make that outside work, and as a driver on iRacing, I always say, "Hey, want to work with me? Want to work with me?" Guys would say, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Until the green flag drops, of course. So you're pretty much by yourself in the pack. It's not the two-car tandem racing anymore. You control your own destiny. So it's an 80-lap race tonight, and in the early going of the stages, you might want to just take it easy and not push things. But the aggression's going to get kicked up as soon, because that clock is going to tick louder and louder when we approach that lap 80 mark there, Chris.
And then the question comes down to, at lap 40, do you want to get yourself to the front, or do you want to strategize off where you are?
Well, I tell you what, if they're racing side-by-side up towards the front, side-by-side for about at least 5 rows, you're going to want to try to push yourself to try to get towards the front, because it's going to be time-consuming on trying to get that outside lane work. It'll stall out for a minute, but if you have the correct pusher, you can definitely challenge for the race lead, and entering the corners of the racetrack, these guys on the inside, they'll gain that momentum back. So you want to try to push yourself back up towards the front, probably about that halfway point. I definitely agree with that. And, we talk about Daytona International Speedway and then the prestige here. You do want to say that you race at Daytona and you want to win at Daytona, and you do want to say you win at Daytona. Why? Because Daytona in NASCAR is the most prestigious race out there. Many people know that, and for these guys to hop on here, 80 drivers, Chris, you mentioned tonight, have tried to attempt the qualification of this field, and I believe only 43 of them are going to make it. So that is a huge chunk of guys that might miss out on tonight's event, but don't be disappointed, man, because there will be future opportunities in this series. And here at Daytona, we talk about strategizing what you could do here in Daytona and what you can plan. And like I said, you're pretty much can't really plan until they drop the green flag, and then you're like, well, now what do I do? Well, you control your own destiny at these super speedways, because the two-car tandem, yes, they do work, but you overheat quicker in the pack, and some drivers are going to have to back off the gas. It's all about throttle control. You don't want to use the brakes, because if you use the brakes, that's almost like a dead stop, and some guys might hit you a little too hard, and you're going to go spin it. You want to just ease off the brakes just a little bit, run about 3/4 to a half throttle, especially on that outside lane, because that inside lane can really check up big time. That outside lane can check up big time. These guys are going to be running side by side in a pack. And as we've seen Sunday night, the trucks 3x3x3 for, how many rows? Like 5 roads, I believe. It was phenomenal racing from these drivers, and those drivers from that series are here tonight. So we're going to see some phenomenal racing, and I think we're going to see that aggression of 3-wide racing really pick up in the second portion of the race. So with that all being said here, folks, here in Daytona, and these drivers now are going to be hitting the racetrack, turn a couple practice laps, and expect drivers run with other drivers, because you want to have a dancing partner indeed. And I tell you what, that is going to be the big picture, having a dancing partner. So, and pit stops tonight is going to be absolutely crucial, because if you go down pit road by yourself at Daytona, guess what? You're a little it's a little weird there. So, and Chris, I'm sure you've raced Daytona before, and pit stops, you wanted to have a dancing partner on pit road.
Yeah, you want to have partners. With these B cars and with the trucks, it just comes down to getting on pit road and getting off, and you got to be smooth, because you're working with other people for multiple laps to say, all right, we're going to pit this time, we're going to take 2, we're going to take 4, and that kind of thing. And that's what these drivers are going to do tonight. If you get out there on pit road and you get out alone, you're going to say bye to the draft. And these draft laps, are so much slower when you're by yourself than when you are in a pack. But it's just one of so many factors that is going to come into winning at Daytona. You mentioned that truck race Sunday night. They were 3 wide, 5 rows deep for the last 8 laps of that race before that big one happened. So I can only imagine these cars tonight, if they trust each other enough, you're going to see some 3-wide racing, and need I say 4-wide, and of course they're going to yell at me tonight, because I'm going to be the human jinx as always, like I seem to be Sunday night when I pretty much called the caution when it was going to happen. but hopefully we won't have any tonight. How's that?
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be an interesting race if we don't have anything, because it's going to come down to pit stops and who your drafting partner is going to be. It's going to separate the field a little bit too as well there, Chris. But I'm sure we might get at least a caution. Last year's event in 2016 in this race, they ran 60 laps. They only had 3 cautions out of the 60 laps, so they did have some green flag racing. Tonight, I am going to expect at least a caution or 2, but these guys know what they're doing here at Daytona. They know how to draft. They know how to utilize it. This is, in my opinion, as a driver on iRacing, the most easiest car to draft with than the Cup car or the trucks. So I am really looking forward to some exciting racing.
And the reason why it's so easy, and tell me if I'm wrong here, is because the bumpers are so wide and they almost match up to each other, so you can just sit there and give the guy a push.
Yeah, definitely. And you got to be careful pushing, though. That's the thing. These cars, NASCAR quite a few years ago, I think back in 2012, they did something with the cars, if I'm not mistaken, to where they're going to overheat faster. And what that did is that separated the 2-car tandem racing. Now it's strictly back to pack racing, which all the NASCAR fans and race fans like is the pack racing. And I tell you what, it gives the drivers to really focus on their destiny a little more, but at the same time, one wrong move can end in a big one.
And that's what happened Sunday night, and that happened to be the end of the race when it was all over with. And again, DJ Beverly going to victory lane. So, Tanner, talk about the weather and what they're going to see here this evening.
Yeah, definitely. 65 degrees is going to be the air temperature tonight, folks. That's actually relatively cool air down here in Daytona at this time of year. Actually, right about the correct temperature. Track temperature is a little more cooler today. It's not in the hundreds. It is 91 degree track temperature, a little cool. But I'm sure when these guys start turning some laps, it's definitely going to heat up the racetrack. The wind is blowing about 6 miles an hour, a little calm today. And the humidity is up to 60%. So it's roughly warm outside, but I'm sure these guys, it's not going to eat up the tires like you would see at a 1.5 miles or a short track.
We'll have to see the action as you get ready to go green here in just a few minutes. Now, the one thing I can say is these cars are a little different than the Cup cars. When I say the Cup cars, when you see Thursday night when they run the Daytona 300, the one thing you're going to see is the tire wear. Trucks, you didn't see as much tire wear. You were able to go with the 2 tires and get out there and run. These B cars, I think you're going to see more of the same kind of deal where tires aren't necessarily going to be everything. Yeah, you're going to see a little bit of wear, but I think if you go with 2 tires or no tires and that kind of thing, then I think you're going to be okay, unlike the Cup deal.
Yeah, and here on iRacing, if handling can play a factor in these cars. If you just enter the corner wrong, the back end of the car can step out on you. Much like in real life when you're drafting, coming on the exit of the corner where that snappy loose comes in. Daytona racing surface in real life is aging a little bit, but this track has been repaved, and really there isn't any age to the racetrack on here unless iRacing makes some tweaks to do so. But I'm sure these guys, if we do get an early caution, expect drivers to take 2 right side tires.
And that could easily be the factor. Now, I brought up the situation where during the race on Sunday, the truck series, there was 60 laps. So I made up the comment, would pitting at lap 45 or at lap 15 giving you the 35, 40 laps to go to get to the green. Do you see any kind of short strategy, maybe lap 30? 35 to get to the finish?
Well, it is 100% fuel load tonight, I do believe, and that's going to be about approximately 40 laps on a tank of fuel. So if you try to split that halfway, if we stay green flag racing, you could see certainly some strategies like that play out there, Chris.
Well, we're going to find out here coming up in about a few minutes or so before we get the green, and then we'll get 80 laps of racing here at the Daytona International Speedway and get the NP3 Designs 200 underway. I'm excited. How are you feeling, Tanner?
I am really excited. These drivers right now just going through the drivers meeting, and another thing here in Daytona, it's a lot more narrower and a lot more tighter than what Talladega Super Speedway is. And both racetracks, though, you cannot go below the yellow line. You cannot do that. That's considered out of bounds. So make sure you don't go below that yellow line whenever you're restrictor plating on iRacing for sure. And I'm really excited for these cars. I love racing. This is probably my favorite car to race at a restrictor plate track because you can definitely draft and suck up to the back bumper and push your way to the front.
And that's pretty much what we're going to have here for the next couple minutes. We'll get ready to get the grid here very shortly, about 45 seconds or so. But it looks like the grid is up. I stand corrected here. But Tanner Stoops is going to be the pole sitter. 49.506 second lap. Josh Grupa once again going to start on the outside.
And third place tonight, right behind the pole sitter, Tommy Ryan will start in third. And Nick Cohan, the jerky man, will roll off fourth.
Scott Eckrich, the truck champion, returns to the B car tonight. He starts fifth. Alongside him, the boss man, James Krahula.
Jordan Hightower will start seventh, and Tyler Dalton will roll off in the eighth position.
Stevie Benson inside of row number 5. Alongside him, Jeff Ryan.
Jeff Go will start off outside the top 10 in 11th tonight, and Rich Jetty will roll off 12th.
Woodrow Mahan going to start there on the inside of row number 7. Alongside him, the man who led a good portion of that truck race Sunday night, unfortunately came home 8th, Brian Yazik.
Jeff Ward will roll off in the 15th position in the Belkin machine, and R.J. Williams will roll off 16th.
Chad Coleman inside row number 9. Alongside him, Adam Jersky.
Jake Wright, it will start off in the 19th spot, and rounding out the top 20, Ryan Howard.
Taking a look at row 21, Alan Cryer there in the 21st position. That's actually row 11. Let me get the numbers right. Drew Carroll, Mr. Excitement, going to come from the middle of the pack.
Gary Whitson will come from the middle of the pack as well in the 23rd spot, and Michael Krobach will come from the middle of the pack in 24th.
A lot of good names back here. John Wilco, 25th starting position. Mr. Bryce Whitson Jr. there in 26th.
Yeah, you say a lot of good names. How about Paul Pepper in 27th and Norm Pelletier III rolling off 28th?
I think Paul's going to want to redeem himself after Sunday night. Norman started 37th Sunday night and finished 4th in that truck race, so he's got some momentum. Doy Woods there on the inside of row 15 alongside Matthew Mara.
Big Joe Hazard will start in the 31st position, and Paul Cooper 32nd.
Jason Galvin there in the 33rd position inside row 17 alongside him, Will Worsler.
J.D. Laird will start off 35th, and Colton Bermudzi, I apologize if I have the name incorrect, he'll roll off in 36th.
That's 37th, and we'll go through the rest of the field real quick. Devin Cannon, Pierre Deigel, John Sterling, Gerald Livingston there in the 40th position. The rest of your field, Tim Johnston, Cody Walker, and Tony Schoen going to round out the 43-car field here at the Daytona International Speedway. As I mentioned, 80 laps, 200 miles. In the start of the SIMRacingApps Grand National Series, Brian Yazik, your champion from last season, can he back it up? We'll find out right now. It starts with the NP3 Designs 200, and we are green in Daytona.
Green, green, green at Daytona International Speedway. Number 15, Tanner Stoops. It's a side-by-side run here from the outside from Josh Skrupa, headed down into turn 1 for the first time. 31 degrees of banking, and the pushing has already started, Chris. Look at the outside lane, that number 21 machine of Nick Cohan, the jerky man, pushing Josh Skrupa off of turn number 2.
You can definitely get some pushing done with this car, especially on the early start here, and that's exactly what's happened. Josh Skrupa, that 25 car, going to get the push from Cohan. He's going to get the lead, it looks like, down into turn number 3. Here comes that inside line. No. Contact already. So far enough, the 15's gone around and they're wrecking in the back.
Oh boy, and I see Big Joe Hazard in the 1 car involved.
Wow, not a way to start this race.
Oh.
It's going to come out at the front of the field when Nick Cohan tries to come to the bottom thinking he was clear, and unfortunately he's not. It's just one of those tandem things there, and he's going to get turned sideways, and everybody's just got to scramble, and you can see other contact with other cars. I'm counting at least 7, 8, 9 cars in this.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. It looked like Nick Cohan misjudged that, entering the corner there, and he tried following his drafting partner, Josh Skrupa, and it did not play off. And wow, Tommy Ryan just squeaked by who started third. A lot of drivers squeaking by. I'm seeing some drivers wrecking away in the deep of the back of the pack back there.
Yeah, Tony Schoen getting some damage there in that Miller Genuine Draft car. Started in the back, and unfortunately already going to be damaged.
Not a good way to start off a lap 1 at Daytona for some drivers, and some drivers just squeaked by and pretty much just said, wow, I just escaped probably the big one.
Yeah, and getting the big one out before they can get up to full speed. But Josh Skrupa going to be the leader. Dalton there in second. Tommy Ryan, Scott Eckrich, Jeff Ryan. These guys all scathing without any damage. Jeff Ryan, Rich Jetty, Adam Jersky, and then Hightower, Gal, and Ryan Howard there in the 10th position. Here is or under caution. It should be a quickie yellow because nobody was a lap down, so we should get back to racing here in the next lap or two.
Yeah, definitely should be getting back to racing the next lap or two. Lights are still on, so these guys are the ones that were dodging that wreck down in turn number 3. It's going to allow these guys to capture their breath just a little bit and just understand that we can't be racing that probably aggressively in the early stages of this race at this point.
Yeah, it was just a bad judgment on Cohan's part, and just something that unfortunately happens.
Things like that happen a lot in restricted plate racing, and that's just plate racing. Not a whole lot you can do about it. Sometimes you just misjudge if you're clear or not, and sometimes you don't really ever want to, get rid of your partner that you're pushing. But in those cases, sometimes you kind of have to do that and just kind of settle in line until your opportunity comes up. Usually at plate racing here, Chris, it's all about patience.
Patience is a virtue. You can't win the race on lap 1, but you can surely lose it, and that's unfortunately what some people might have done here in this accident. At least, again, I'm counting 9 or 10 cars in that wreck here on lap number 1. You see Nick Cohan there looking at his number 21. You see a little bit of rear end damage there. Otherwise, this car looks fairly unscathed, so he might actually be okay in the end, but he's going to be feeling terrible. And needless to say, on that Facebook page of the Premier Racing League, he might be taking a beating for the next couple of days.
Well, I tell you what, if anything, down turn 3 and 4 there, Chris, he pulled pretty much a Kyle Busch of 2012.
Yes, but the difference is Kyle Busch saved it. Nobody else got involved in this situation.
Very true.
A few others were involved. But it is the first caution of the evening here in the Premier Racing League for the NP3 Designs 200 at the Daytona International Speedway. As you mentioned, 34 race schedule. They're going to do 3 11 race segments, and then they'll crown the they'll crown the champion every 11 races, and then that final champion on race 34 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in November. Lights are off. We'll go back to racing here. Skrupa going to take that bottom side, I believe. But he's going to have some great help there. Scott Eckert's going to start behind him. We'll have to see when it's...
This is interesting. Krupa is taking the higher line, it looks like, on this restart. So, and he's going to have Scott Eckrich right alongside of him. And I know for a fact Scott Eckrich has got a bad, fast whammer jammer over number 70 machine no matter where he goes.
I actually see damage on that right side of the 70 there in the right door.
Oh.
So we'll have to see if that car really does run. Eckrich, hoping to get that Toyota up there in the front and back up what he did in the Truck Series last year, winning 8 races, led over 43% of the laps in that Truck Series last year. So he's looking to do it here to B-Car this year.
Oh, man, and dominated their Cup Series, too. I mean, with multiple victories. So Scott Eckrich might have a little right side damage. We'll just have to see how well that plays out, because aerodynamics at Daytona is a huge thing, especially that front bumper.
So you wonder if Skrupa and Dalton are going to work together here, if he gets this jump and then jumps down to the bottom here in front of the number 19. We'll just have to see here very shortly. Tommy Ryan there in the inside in the number 6 Northern Tools car. So we'll go back racing here, though, on lap number 4.
I did see drivers like Brian Yazik did make a pit stop under this caution. Pace car is going to head off down pit road. Chris, here we go for the first restart of the day. Josh Skrupa on the loud pedal. We're green flag racing.
Just like I thought, he gets the jump. He's going to move down the inside there with Tyler Dalton. That inside line is going to line up. 1, 2, 3 right off the bat. Eckrich is going to have to find somewhere to get in line. He's going to try to dive in, and will do right there in the 5th position. But that inside line looking pretty organized.
Looking pretty organized indeed. It's all single file until you get back about to the 8th spot up there. Number 77 back there. Rich Jetty. Big accident turn number 2. Caution is out. This is another big one.
Oh my, the 92 involved Jeff Gow. There must be a full moon out tonight or something.
Holy moly. And I tell you what, that was bump drafting gone wrong too there, Chris, because somebody bumped that number 92 machine. I believe it was the number 50 machine. That was R.J. Williams. He bumped him incorrectly in the middle of the corner. And actually, there was a checkup too, and the number 92 of Jeff Gow got sandwiched and lost control of the race car.
Looked like the 27 got involved in that also. Trying to see. We're going to go on board with Cody Welker because he's going to have an incredible ride here, as we're about to see.
Oh, man. It's just... Duck. Here we go. Turn 2.
Wow,
Accidents
he
happening.
made it through.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, got a duck.
That's one of those. That's one of those. I'll take the Ghost 4X and go on.
Well, I tell you what. You know, I don't know how often you can duck in a 3,400-pound race car.
Not often. Not often. But second caution out, lap number 5 here in this Daytona 200, the NP3 Designs 200. With Skrupa leading, and not the best of starts for these guys. I'm pretty sure Kerhula and a few of them are like not too thrilled right now after what is going on. But what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back, and hopefully those guys will calm themselves down. We'll calm ourselves down and get ready for another restart on the Global Sim Racing channel. Back to the Daytona International Speedway as we are coming to the green flag here in about a half a lap or so. Josh Skrupa, Tyler Dalton, Tommy Ryan, Jeff Ryan up to 4th. Rich Jetty there in 5th. It looks like Scott Eckrich has gone to pit road, Tanner. And we've had a little bit of drama here in the room. Talk about what was going on during that caution.
Yeah, a little drama early going. Some drivers voiced their displeasure, and the race officials did not do not tolerate that, so they were removed from the session. Drivers like pole sitter Tanner Stoops, Alan Creer, and I believe Chad Coleman is one of those drivers who will finish in the back of the pack in tonight's event. Nonetheless, the pace car is going to head down pit road, and we are going to try this once again. Side-by-side racing, a little pushing here and there. And it's all going to be led by Josh Skrupa.
And here they come to the green flag. And one thing we should mention, as the green's going to come out here at lap number 10, you know what? Rules are rules. And you're going to have races like these no matter what series you run in. You watch the Peak NP3 series next week. They're going to have races like this. Everybody has. It's a matter of, you know what, you need to respect what the admins do. And it's just one of those deals where, unfortunately, they didn't and they got removed. But we're back to racing. We're going to focus on the green here with 70 laps to go next time by. And Josh Skrupa leading him through 2 as Tommy Ryan trying to give him the push on the inside.
Definitely, and Gary Whitson found a hole on the inside, and he decided to take it. But nonetheless, that battle is going to be challenged for the race lead. Tommy Ryan, also I like to call him as Tommy Ryanhart, down into turn number 3, pushing the number 25 of Josh Skrupa, the number 19 of Tyler Dalton being pushed by the 88 machine of Jeff Ryan. That is a monster-looking Venom machine on the outside there by Jeff Ryan as they're going to come complete 10 laps.
You mentioned Tommy Ryan. He's the pole sitter for the Daytona 300. He wants to get out there and lead this thing.
Yeah, definitely, and you want to be out there leading the race because it's worth a bonus point if you lead a lap. That's why the first race in Daytona is always probably one of the most important ones, because if you get out there and you lead a lap, it's a bonus point.
Actually, Tanner, that's where we have to correct you a little bit. With the new NASCAR rules, the whole leading a lap bonus is gone.
I really need to get my NASCAR rules written down.
Basically, with the new rules in NASCAR, with the new bonuses and stuff, the only bonuses you get now are at lap 40 in this series. So,
well, and that at least you're out front trying to lead the race, and then by the time lap 40 hits, you want to be leading by that time. And look at this challenge up front, new leader Tyler Dalton on the outside lane being pushed by the 88 of Jeff Ryan.
That outside line's rolling. Got about 6 or 7 cars up on that outside line, and there's a little bit of gap back to that second line. But you mentioned Tyler Dalton at 19. He's definitely working hard up there.
He definitely is, and I tell you what, he's not side drafting as much as a lot of drivers or a lot of race fans would see. And usually, if you don't side draft on the exit of the corner there, Chris, you can get a huge run. Here's the 88. He's pushing that number 19 on the higher side. Here's where they're going to get their run on the straights on the exit of the corner. Look at this run. They're coming. I don't think he's going to beat the 25 machine to the line. No, he will not.
Yeah, that time by, it looked like Skrupa still led that lap, but that outside line, Dalton starting to roll it into turn 1. Outside starting to pick it up.
Yep, that outside's going to pick it up, and I'll tell you what, that outside lane is going to grow legs on this backstretch. It's a long back straightaway. Watch this. Here he comes. And at one point, he was I think he was clear of that 25 machine, but but that number 19 of Tyler Dalton did not abandon the 88.
Which is, smart racing, especially at the beginning here. You want to be able to cooperate with who you're working with, but obviously at the same time, though, you got to keep yourself up in the front if that's the track position you want as they come by to complete lap 13.
Yeah, definitely. Now, here's a situation. These guys up here are running side-by-side for quite a few rows back. And I tell you what, since they're running side-by-side, if you're in the back of the pack of this side-by-side racing, drivers like Norm Pelletier or James Krahula, for that example, where are you going to go? It's pretty much a roadblock, so you kind of are being forced and running in line. And here's Nick Cohan coming from back of the pack.
Yeah, you got to be patient, and that's what it comes down to, is being patient. You can work your way through with your single file, but when you're 2x2 like this early in the race, it's I will almost use the word pointless to try to jump up there and go 3 wide unless you feel like you need to get to the front. Now in the next 20 laps, I could see somebody going 3 wide, because if you really want those bonus points, you're going to really want to make the move to get up there. But it's almost like the start of the race all the way over side by side, the first 10 rows. as they're coming up on 2 lap cars up ahead.
Yeah, this is going to get a little dicey because this is going to be in the middle of the corner right here. And here they come. Oh, tight squeeze, even though they're a lot slower, but everybody looks like made it through just fine.
And if you're able to hold a line, you're able to do so, and that's what they did. Great job by everybody getting through. You see back here the 3 car, Gary Whitson, kind of leading that second group back up to that first pack.
Yeah, he's pretty much stuck in that bottom side of the racetrack right now, just riding a line. That's all you really can do. You don't want, and that's another thing, you don't want to go 3 wide, yes, but you also don't want to be side drafting aggressively. The reason why that is because you might accidentally hit your opponent on track, just like Gary Whitson almost made contact there, but he didn't side draft. The car on the outside looked like he side drafted just a little bit, and that's one of the scary things at Daytona is you don't want to side draft aggressively because you might hit the guy on the inside. And secondly, netcode.
Yeah, netcode, that's you go back to the duels last Thursday night. We had the netcode big one, as we officially called it, when some great racing and all of a sudden the netcode happened and took out at least 3/4 of the field when it was over with.
Battle for the lead still going on between Josh Skrupa and Tyler Dalton. All these drivers within the top 10 are really giving each other room, not side drafting aggressively. And I tell you what, number 19, Tyler Dalton, has really made some tremendous runs on the exit of the corner to Josh Skrupa. It's just Skrupa and the guys on the inside, they gain that momentum right back on entry to the corner. Oh, we might have some 3 wide action right here. Number 2. Cody Welker on the high side, but no drafting partner. And if he does not get a drafting partner, he's going to slide back or might slide back in the line, but that hole's going to close up quick. Still up there. Holy smokes. And I tell you what, these guys, drifting up just a little bit. That's one thing you got to watch for at Daytona. The number 42 machine, Jason Galvin, looking towards the middle, trying to hold everything you can. And now in NASCAR, usually the middle lane is the sucker hole. Well, the sucker hole has just become the very high lane of the number 2 car of Cody Welker, who almost makes contact with Gary Whitson. Headed down on turn number 1 here. Cody Welker still trying to find his spot in line. It is a very tight battle there. And the problem with Gary Whitson being in the middle like that, and I think that's going to get sorted out right there, is that his car is moving left and right so much because there's so much air moving around these race cars at 200 miles an hour. It's really hard to keep a steady race car. And now they're all sorted double file.
So far, 18 laps about to be completed as they come off of turn number 4. It is that 25 car, Josh Skrupa, the 19 of Tyler Dalton. And that 2 jumping out of line again, trying to go 3 wide.
Getting a little aggressive here, and I might have to question this call on to a point. But I tell you what, you're right. I mean, we're coming on 20 laps into this race, and like I said at the top of the show, it's going to take time to get to the front, and you want them bonus points at the halfway point. So you might as well start at this halfway point to lap 40.
You're coming around another lap car on the outside. That 1, Big Joe Hassard, got to stay high there, doing a good job.
Yeah, doing a very good job staying high right next to the outside wall there. Nick Cohan really drifts high, entering the corner there, regains his composure as Josh was still holding the race lead over Tyler Dalton and Tommy Ryan. Jeff Ryan in the 88 as well. These guys are coming back side by side. A lot of racing action in the mid-pack here for that top 10 spot. Everybody else behind is running single file on the bottom side of the racetrack.
As we complete lap number 20, next time by, Skrupa is still trying to get that inside line to clear. Tommy Ryan's been trying to push him, but unfortunately nothing has been able to work so far.
Nothing's working so far, but sometimes in Jeff Ryan's position, you kind of have to back off and cool down that race engine. You can overheat really quick, so that's probably why they haven't made too much of an attempt at the race lead just yet. It's because Jeff Ryan's the one who's going to have to cool down his engine a little bit. And just by doing that, as they go around lap cars off of turn number 4, by doing that, Chris, you kind of have to back off. You don't really want to keep your nose poking out all the time, because if you tag that corner cam on either side, it might turn them.
Brothers up there in that outside, or the second row, I should say. Jeff Ryan up there in that 88 car. You got the 6 of Tommy Ryan in there. You got Jason Galvin in this pack. Rich Jetty is in this pack. Jordan Hightower. A whole bunch of great names in this pack, including, I want to look back here at the 13th position. He's in this lead pack, but the guy who started 30th on the field, Matthew Mara, The Illinois driver hanging out there in 13th position. He is in this lead pack as the two trying to go 3 wide again.
Yeah, definitely. Matthew Mara started from the 30th position, as you said. But how about that 2 car that you just spoke of, Cody Welker, who started 42nd in this race and is up into the 9th spot.
Will bring you, and all of a sudden you get cars that are starting in the back and have worked their way up to the front. You get cars that have started in the front and worked their way back to the back.
26 cars. It's 2.5 seconds separating everybody there in one big pack. That is a lot of cars to be in one big pack with.
And that's the product of this kind of racing. You get some great racing out of these guys as finally Skarupa is going to clear and get into the lead. And he's probably taking a sigh of relief knowing there's nobody on his outside for the first time in about 10 laps. We complete lap number 22. Again, 80 laps, 200 miles tonight in the NP3 Designs 200.
You know, we talk about 3 wide race, and, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but the worst place to go 3 wide here at Daytona and the most treacherous part of the racetrack is at trial. 18 degrees of banking at the start-finish line, and you go 3 wide through there, a lot of air gets moved around, which means a lot of cars move around.
Well, do you know also why? Is because that's a turn in that trial. Yep. It's an 18-degree turn, and you're going 200 mile an hour. Oh, the 77 clips the apron.
He clipped the apron, backs up into Gary Whitson. Here we go. Is he going to save it? No caution yet. That is Rich Jetty. Unbelievable save.
Sure, we'll get that on replay here for you and let you see that. Rich Jetty, who had a glove save and a beauty there.
May have gotten a little too low on entry to the corner there, Chris. I think his left side tires were on the yellow line as he was entering the corner of the racetrack. And when you enter the corner of the racetrack, that's 31 degrees of banking compared to that apron, which is completely flat. The car gets extremely upset, and he goes for a wild spin there. Or not really a spin, but extremely loose.
Had to go save it.
Yes.
Yeah, he had to put hands and feet on the wheels, I like to say, to try to save that thing. But he did, and we stayed green with Skarupa out there in the front. But the pack is kind of broken up a little bit. Nice save there by Jetty. Had a cupcake on his hood?
I have to go back and look at that.
But nonetheless, they continue by 24 laps completed. And here we go, battling for the lead again. Here comes that outside line. Tyler Dalton led that lap.
Yep, beat Skarupa to the line. I tell you what, it is hard to get something going. You want to try to create a lane, another lane here at Daytona, but the problem is it's so dang tight, you know, because you're right next to the outside wall. You got 2 cars on the inside of you. Daytona's tighter and more narrower than Talladega, as we said. And it just, man, it gets scary. And the only driver that I've really seen that's really making an temptation to make it 3 wide to go for a position has been that number 2 car of Cody Welker.
And it just shows he wants to get up there to the front, but so far he's just holding on strong there about mid-pack. But Tyler Dalton, Josh Skarupa, they've been just fighting back and forth. Skarupa leads that lap, another lead change.
Oh boy.
And now here comes a line of lap traffic. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's going to get dicey right here, folks, as they're going to enter. A lot of guys going side by side. This is going to get scary. Got to check up where you're going to go. Oh, no, it's getting tight. Oh, everybody's got to go below the yellow line to dodge these lap cars that are going slow on the racetrack, and the lap cars are doing everything they can. There's just so much room, or so little room on this racetrack. Wow.
Well, the one thing I always say is they cannot mirror drive. They need to just look out the windshield and run their own line. The other cars will work their way around them.
Oh, my goodness.
And it looks like that's what's happening.
I bet you, Chris, a lot of these drivers, about 80% of the time during any Daytona race, they're mirror driving.
Which, yeah, and I can see that in the pack, but if you're out there on your own, the best thing you do is look out the window, because you look in the mirror, all of a sudden, bam, you're up against the wall, and you start the big one. And then people are going to be mad at you because you're a lap down and started the big one.
And iRacing does give you a relative screen to know where everybody and how far everybody's away from you. So iRacing gives you that information. So, yeah, that's where you just really got to be aware of your surroundings.
That outside line just continues to fight as they've been side by side. We've been green for some 17 laps now, and it's almost like we went back to racing there at lap number 10 with Skarupa and Dalton on the outside. The Ryan brothers split up there in the inside and outside. Jeff and Tommy fighting for third. They're fighting like they would trying to clean up somebody's bedroom probably there in the house.
Yeah, that's a good saying.
Oh, you clean the bedroom. No, I will. No, you clean it. No, you do.
right now, I tell you what, Tyler Dalton's getting a tremendous push from that 88 machine. If he can continue to push and get that 19 car to the race lead, the 19 car might take the opportunity and say, I'm just going to drop right down in front of the 25 car, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen right here as they're still side by side entering turn number 3.
Good racing here. Had those 2 cautions early, a couple of big wrecks, but then everybody else is sorted out. Still got 26 out of the 43 cars. And looks like Skrupa finally going to clear again for now. Here comes that outside line back.
Yeah, Jeff Ryan can only do so much behind that number 19 of Tyler Dalton. And the reason why that is because he's probably getting on the radio and telling Tyler Dalton, hey man, I'm getting hot. I got to back this thing off a little bit. We're going to lose a little momentum, but as soon as I start pushing you, we're side by side with the race leaders. And that's a learning experience right there, folks.
That outside line, can somebody get cleared? And you got to compliment Tyler Dalton. You mentioned this earlier. Somebody trying to middle there, it looked like. That's that 2 car, I think. Contact.
Man. 3 car high above and down turn number 4. And he's going to be put on the outside line as it looks like, who is that in the middle there? They're in a sucker hole. Number 50 machine. R.J. Williams. He was actually involved in one of the incidents earlier.
And he's up here working his way through the field. One thing I do want to mention, Josh Skrupa, obviously starting second in this race. He started on the outside pole. However, the pole sitter tonight, as I'm getting the name here real quickly, was the number 15, Tanner Stoops. He actually won the NP3 Design Pole Award. I didn't get a chance to give them the compliment, but NP3 Design Pole Award. Easy for me to say congratulations to Tanner on winning that, as more lap cars there on the outside.
I tell you what, I keep thinking this. I think handling's starting to play a factor on entry of the corner, especially turn number 3. I've seen Gary Whitson already do it, but that number 2 car looked like he was sideways entering the corner.
And you can definitely see that with the wheels. With all the wheel you're turning into this car, you could easily get tight or easily get loose throughout here, and that's where. And you see Skrupa going to clear for the lead here as we come up on the 50 to go mark.
Yep, 50 to go mark, and I think we got about 10 laps until we reach that lap 40 there, Chris. And that lap 40 is going to mean a lot. We've already seen a little aggression in the early stages of this race. We might see it with just a few laps until that halfway point. Man, I just keep thinking these guys are getting a little sideways, entering the corner, and they kind of have to lift off the throttle to catch the race cars.
Yeah, that's going to be a key here. You mentioned it. At lap 40 markers, already at lap 30. At lap 40, the top 10 will get bonus points from 10 down to 1. When it is all over with it. Wow, they're getting close to get with those lap cars. Everybody's doing a good job holding their line.
Yeah, but what a treacherous place to catch some lap cars. Holy moly, the trial.
That's a tricky part, but again, you hold your line, you can do it.
Yep.
Just looking at some of the chat, and I do want to remind drivers and those who are watching, you can chat with us on our Global Sim Racing channel YouTube page. I got it up here. I'm just looking at some of the comments I'm seeing, some of the racers that have been in a truck race or even going to run the Daytona 300 on Tuesday. So a lot of great drivers here chatting with us, and we appreciate everybody joining us.
Some bump drafting going on from the number 2 of Cody Welker to the 88 machine, but there's nowhere to go for the 88 machine unless the 88 wants to pop out, and the 2 jumps with the 88. But so far, everybody running single file on that higher side of the racetrack. They're all doublet side by side for multiple rows back.
Some great racing throughout. As I mentioned, the 2 cautions early, but they've shaken it off. And maybe it's the inversion of the truck race. The truck race, we had no cautions the first 50 laps, and we had 2 to finish it out. And here we had 2 cautions in the first 10 laps. Are we going green the rest of the way? Here's where everybody's going to yell at me now, but I'm just speaking facts. That's how I've always been. I've always spoken facts. I'm not here to jinx anything. It's only a jinx if you believe it.
Something must have happened in the back of the pack, because earlier it was 26 cars about 2.5 seconds from each other in one big pack. That has now decreased to 20 cars. The other cars that have lost the lead pack is Drew Carroll, Mr. Excitement himself, Woodrow Mahan, Brian Yazik, Will Worsler, and Gerald Livingston all running side by side on the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe these drivers back here are like, okay, we lost the lead pack. Now, what can we do for a pit strategy?
I don't know. You mentioned a couple of cars from that Loud Pedal Motorsports team, and I could see this being just a deal where these guys are going to run their own little line, and they'll be back later when the time counts. I mean, because they've seen the racing going on in that pack, and anything could happen.
A lot of racing left.
Absolutely.
Don't count them out.
That's the Yazik, Drew Carroll, names you mentioned. There's Dalton lead that lap
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dalton, you said leading that lap. He's getting that higher side going at this time around. Still side by side, losing a little momentum on that inside.
Now we should mention, Tanner, with the large field that these guys had. I mentioned over 80 cars. There's actually a consolation race. That car had to jump out of the way. Big Joe Haas was there on board with Tyler Dalton. But we do have a consolation race that's been going on. I've been reading the chat and hearing that looks like they've had a couple wrecks over there already. One of the drivers, I should mention, that's over in that race, I believe, is one of our own. And the reason why he's not here tonight, Sean Ambrose, is actually running in the consolation race, I believe. So hopefully we'll hear from Sean and how he's doing over there. But that's why he's not here tonight. That's why you got Tanner, which is totally fine with me too.
Well, yeah, and good luck to Sean Ambrose. I hope he comes out with a victory at Daytona, and what a way to get your name arched on to win at Daytona and say that you won here. So good luck to Sean Ambrose in the consolation race.
45 to go, another lap car on that outside.
Yeah, we're coming down to it. Coming down to 40 here pretty soon. Here we're going to be coming down with about 4 laps to go to lap 40. That's where the bonus points are going to start kicking in. And so far, it's pretty much a battle between Skrupa and Dalton.
Yeah, 4 laps before halfway. That time by Dalton. I'm anxious to see if we're going to see some 3 wide here going to that lap. Because, I mean, people are going to have to make a move if they really want it.
Yeah, we might see some 3 wide if they really want it, and circle him right now. Right, that number 2 car is going to poke his nose out, and he's going to become the Pod Piper. And drivers are probably going to go with him. And there he goes, sticking on the outside lane. What is the drivers behind going to do? Oh, he's going to pull back in. Lap car coming up. Oh, 08 car! Oh my gosh! The 08 almost T-boned the lap car. He lost a little momentum there, and it looked like the tires were settling in because it looked like he got tight on entry of the corner.
Yeah, you're on board with the ship at number 2 there, Cody Walker running into 5th spot. He's getting up there. He's used 3 wide. He's going to try to get here. Going to go to the top side of Jeff Bryan all by himself.
This is a risky move right here. He's using a little side draft, obviously, because they're so close together. But the problem is there's no drafting help, though. You got nobody drafting on your back bumper.
That's not a good way to get people to work with you either when you have situations like that, because you want to get teammates or get people to work with you. You're out there trying to force a move by yourself. People are going to be like, okay, this guy's being impatient.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I think these drivers know what's on the line at lap 40.
And what is on the line? 10 bonus points for the winner, 9 for second, 8 for third, 7 for fourth. You get the picture all the way down to 10th place, who gets 1 point when it is all said and done. That time by Skrupa lead. So 2 laps before we hit that 40 lap mark.
If the 2 car is going to jump to the outside lane to make a move, he's got to get partners to go with him.
I just think his best bet right now, just get what you can get. Again, the bonus points are good, but lap 80 is where it counts.
Yeah, and that's a victory right there. So,
not to mention, let's look down that number right below his name on the screen. You see Cody Walker running 6th. He started 42nd. He was almost last at one point. Is up here already in the 6th position. No wonder he's trying to get up there. He's like, I'm going to go worse to first.
Now, you could say that those 2 cautions helped Cody get up towards the front, but in a way, I disagree because he's already up there racing for a top 5 spot. He has raced his way up there as well.
Oh, absolutely, and he's had to miss the wrecks, and I know that's helped him out, obviously, too. As next time by, we will crown the bonus points. It's going to be between Skrupa and that 19 of Tyler Dalton on the outside. Let's see if anybody's going to make moves here.
Yeah, this is going to be it. This is the money lap right here for the bonus points.
The outside line's rolling.
It's rolling, but the 88 car's really got to get on that back bumper of the 19 of Tyler Dalton. side by side coming off turn number 4. Doesn't mean whoever's leading off turn 4 will get to the line first. And to the line first, Scrupa, Dalton, it's Dalton.
Dalton, yep, Dalton gets the bonus point. So 10 for Dalton, 9 to Scrupa. And it's the American Pool Supply halfway point, and the bonus points going to Tyler Dalton. Going to get the 10 points for leading at halfway, but one car out in the grass.
Oh, one car in the grass.
Somebody's out there swimming with the fishies in the grass. Not sure what's going on there.
Looks like some pit stops. Brian Yazik went down pit road, along with the 87 of Drew Carroll. Woodrow Mahan. We do have a car that went sliding in the grass area.
I'm not sure who it was. I'll have to look it up here. We'll get a name here for you guys shortly. But yeah, you mentioned Yazik. Those guys came to pit road, which here comes some more cars to pit road. Tommy Ryan, he got through that halfway point, and here they all come. The hashtag cone cam there.
Yeah, definitely. And pit stops, and these pit stops are going to be crucial. And that's one thing. If you want to win a race at Daytona, don't beat yourself on pit road.
Oh, you'd never want to beat yourself on pit road. That's the worst thing you can do.
Big Joe Hazard looks like going towards the inside. I think he's going to retire.
And you see Josh Scrupa there on pit road, Tommy Ryan, pretty much that inside line. And Scrupa's still sitting there. Did he speed on pit road?
Uh-oh, and if you sped on pit road, that's 15 seconds sitting in your pit box. And that's a speed penalty.
Oh, man. That's huge.
And we just said it. Don't beat yourself on pit road.
But right now, I'm looking for the leaders on the track. The 89 is spinning on the back straightaway. Jeff Ward down here on the apron. He just went spinning, got loose or something.
No caution. And that didn't happen on the racing surface, so...
That apron's playing some games with people tonight.
It can. He may have accidentally clipped that grass part of it too. Got a little too low and just clipped the grass there. But that apron, that can be a dusty apron, which can cause less traction.
Stay green. More cars coming off pit road. Jeff Ryan, just to name a few. And more cars to pit road. Stevie Minson coming in. Nick Cohan to 21. Minson's out in the grass a little bit. Norman Peltier pitting.
That might be a penalty if you hit the grass there and you're coming
I
pit road.
think if you're inside the cone, you're okay. It's if you go grass and then onto the cone is when you have the issue.
Oh, okay.
One car in the grass again, another one. This one, the 19 of Tyler Dalton.
Oh boy, and wow, and that hurts because Scrupa did on pit road. Dalton did it off of turn number 2.
Pit road follies.
Oh man, see, he got hit. Oh, he spun out, but I think he got hit too. Oh yeah, that number 50 machine there. RJ Williams just T-boned him and went for a spin.
Tough break for the 19 and the 50. Oh wow, yeah.
That was our running contenders up towards the front before pit stops even began. Scrupa on pit road. Tyler Dalton off of turn number 2.
Pit stops definitely playing a role, and we got a mixed pack down. The leaders, Gary Whitsitt into 3. He is the third car in line there with Michael Krolbach, Scott Eckrich, and actually I believe Eckrich is going to be the leader now because I see him P2. He's going to cross the line and probably go to P1 here.
He was the race leader earlier too, but he's being pushed by the number 7 machine of Michael Krolbach. Krolbach looking towards the inside. And still drafting with the number 70 machine of Scott Eckrich.
Yeah, it looks like Eckrich is the leader. Krolbach is actually a lap down in the 13th position right now. So he is actually the lucky dog if he's able to get it. So Gary Whitsitt is second. Matthew Mara in the 08 up top there is in third. You got Jordan Hightower. He's 14th at 22 car low on the inside, the third car. You got Adam Jersky is 4th. And then Rich Jetty is 15th a lap down. And then John Sterling, not to get mixed up with the Yankees broadcaster, is in the 86 in 5th.
Here's a funny question for you there, Chris. If you're a driver in this race and your crew chief down the radio and says, I need you to save me some gas, how do you do that?
Eckrich coming to pit road hot.
Yep.
The 3 coming into 77, and to answer your question, you can't.
Yeah.
Other than riding the draft.
That draft, you can actually save a little fuel too because you could run 3/4 throttle and it can save you a little gas.
Yeah, Eckert's going to come to pit road. Should see 4 tires fuel here for the truck champion. Right side's going on.
It is so tough.
2 tires. 2 tires for Eckrich. 77 leaving pit road. Here comes the 3.
These guys must have taken 2 tires as well.
Not a bad strategy.
Jeff Ryan might inherit the lead here in that 88 car.
Yeah, he's coming full speed right here into turn 1 all by himself.
Hey,
that
no
Venom car.
partner.
I think he'll be able to join with this Packer. That Packer, 1 car to crash again.
Oh, no.
John Wilco and the Pretzels car, they must be making him thirsty or something.
We've had multiple incidents coming off of turn number 2 here today.
He makes, no, he didn't. Actually, I thought he made contact with the 23. The 23 to check up. Somebody cue the Benny Hill music. Yeah, he just lost it.
Man, I didn't think about that. Nonetheless, Jeff Ryan's going to come to the start-finish line here, and according to time and scoring, he's shown in 3rd place. But I think Bamara is currently the race leader, and Adam Jersky in the 2nd spot. Adam Jersky is actually on the apron of the racetrack down on turn number 2, where we've seen a lot of calamity at.
Yeah, Jersky gets off pit road, it looks like clean. So when it's all said and done, I'm just looking through here. I think Jeff Ryan is going to be the leader, as you mentioned.
According to my time and scoring here, Jeff Ryan has yet to make a pit stop, and Matthew Mara has yet to make a pit stop. The only 2 drivers that have yet to make a pit stop.
Well, if that's the case, then here comes Ryan right now. Actually, the 88 coming to pit road right now. Lap number 48. So that'll hand the lead to Scott Eckrich.
And Michael Krobach, he must have pitted, because I'm showing he hasn't pitted for about 42 laps.
He might have been involved in one of the earlier cautions or something, but either way.
Oh, he's on pit road now.
Yeah, Krobach on pit road now, as I just noticed.
Yeah, that just must have just taken place. I was just looking at time and scoring, and he didn't pit yet, but now he's on pit road now. 8 cars so far remaining on the lead lap with Jordan.
Oh, the 3 is loose.
The 3. Oh, catch it.
Now
catch
there's
it.
your Kyle Busch save.
Nice save. Oh, he's still trying to save it.
Still trying to hold on to her.
Well, he's on a straight right now, so he should be okay.
I think he clipped the apron.
Oh my gosh! I don't know if he clipped the apron or not.
The Indiana driver looked like just lost it. Car got loose. I wonder if those 2 tires are playing a role.
You know, and it's funny, we topped that on top of the show here, Chris. As I said, these cars can break snappy loose on you on entry of a corner, and then handling comes into play. Nice
save in the end by Gary Whitson, but that is going to cost him big time.
Mara Matthew, who was at the start-finish line last time by, was your race leader. He's already coming off of pit road, as Scott Eckrich is about to catch Matthew Mara. Scott Eckrich at the start-finish line now, picking up. Oh, hard hit into the back bumper. Ooh, was that a hit him? That was the number 77 machine.
Oh, caution is out. 3rd caution, looking for turn 1. I think J.D. Laird and Jason Galvin. It's actually turn 3 and 4.
Oh, boy.
The 42 and the 73 getting together.
I think that's, turn 3. This is.
J.D. Laird running into 30th position.
Yeah, loose. Internet corner.
Once again, car goes sideways. Oh, there's more cars getting involved, it looks like. The 42 of Galvin. Yeah, I saw some other cars.
That looked like Galvin was the first guy to snap loose on entry of the corner like that. And when that happened, if you look at the number 8 machine back here, that number 8 machine there, he's going to go to the high side. That was Will Worsler. And look at Skrupa. He's getting sideways.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that car just swaps ends. 25 goes sideways. He gets T-boned by somebody there. I think it's the 8 of... Yeah, you'll see here the 25 just or the 42 tries to go to the high side there, and he just loses it. The back end just swaps ends, and then the 8 just gets in there and T-bones him.
And look at that number 89 machine on the bottom side. When he first enters the corner, he's just perfectly fine. All of a sudden, just steps out.
We are learning something tonight with these cars.
I don't know what it is here on iRacing. It could be I think as far as restrictor plate goes here on these repaved surfaces, I think handling is starting to become a play.
I think that's a pretty fair assessment, Tanner, as we're seeing that tonight, which is weird because we haven't seen that on these restrictor plate tracks. So those need to take note. As Eckert's going to bring the leaders down pit road, you need to take note if you're going to go run the B fixed or whatever this week. You might be loose.
Yeah, I've ran quite a few races in the B races this week, and I've been getting loose on entry of the corner in turn 3 as my tires wear on, and I have to get out of the gas to catch the race car, as pit road is a very, very busy place. Bunch of drivers on pit road: Scott Eckrich, Tommy Ryan, Stevie Minson, Nick Cohan, the Jerky Man, Gary Whitson, Brian Yazik. Big names down pit road.
Eckert's just going to top it off and get out there on pit road. I wonder if he took left side tires just to get see what's going on. I need to go put 4 on these things.
It could be. I mean, with handling being a factor like that, and we just had a long green flag stint, and looked like handling was being in play before green flag pit stops even began. We did see a couple cars snap loose, but they were able to catch their cars. So this is going to bring out our 3rd caution in this evening's race.
And if I'm seeing this right, if I'm doing my numbers right here, I believe Michael Krobach is going to be the lucky dog. He is the first one to lap down, and he is rolling around the trioval area right now, catching back up. And if that's the case, that means we're going to give Michael Krobach, as I'm getting to it, the Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. So congratulations to
Krobach
on winning that award.
That's Brutus
on the screen. We've been waiting for Brutus. He's been on vacation for the winter.
I tell you what, he may be on vacation for the winter, but somebody's been feeding him that house of jerky.
And the one thing I do want to say, that Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Coastal Safety Auditors. Now, Jason Galvin given the EOL penalty for being the reason for that caution. But Krobach back on the lead lap.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm seeing a couple guys coming down pit road here. Drivers like the number 27 machine. That is Jake Wright, all down pit road. No, they are a lap down or more, so this is their opportunity to come down pit road to take some sort of tires, fill it up with gas. My oh my, Chris, how things have changed from lap 1 to where we had Skrupa versus Dalton. And all of a sudden, we have a whole different players up towards the front now.
Yes, we do, and we look at some of these starting positions. You got the 30th starting Matthew Mara, he's leading. You got 18th starter Adam Jersky in second. You got the 7th place starter Jordan Hightower third. Eckrich, he started 5th, he's 4th. Nick Cohan, he was the guy that you kind of caused issues in lap 1. He's back up to 5th. Paul Pepper started 27th, he's 6th. Gary Whitson started 23rd, he's 7th. You got Stevie Minson, Tommy Ryan, the poles hitter for 300, back there in 9th. In your top 10, Norman Peltier, the 3rd. You got Yazik up to 11th. You got Drew Carroll, Mr. Excitement. James Krahula, I don't think we've said his name once tonight. He's 12th. 13th. You got John Sterling in 14th. Not the Yankee announcer. And John Wilco there, 15th. Josh Krupa and Woodrow Mahan. I believe those are your cars left on the lead lap that are not on pit road, as Krobach will get back on the lead lap also.
Yeah, Gerald Livingston as well, back in 18th. Krobach is now 19th back on the lead lap. So when we get the green flag, we're going to have about 19 cars on the lead lap. And as far as fuel strategy is concerned, throw it out the window, because these drivers can make it to the end. So the pace car lights should go off this upcoming time by here, so we should be able to get the 1-to-go signal here at the Daytona International Speedway. We've seen a lot of racing action, side-by-side racing, pit strategy, some drivers biting themselves on pit road as far as speeding, and I tell you what, incidents even happened even not on pit road, but off of turn number 2, that apron. Pace car lights are going to go off. Matthew Marr is going to lead them to the green flag this upcoming time by. Adam Jersky in second place, as those two drivers, the first and second place drivers, Matthew Mara, Adam Jersky, both start outside the top 15. Adam Jersky 18th, Matthew Mara in 30th, and those guys have raced their way up towards the front. Was probably some luck involved with that as far as dodging wrecks and doing a little field strategy to keep yourself up front there. Nick Cohan, the Jerky Man, he's back. He's been up in there in the top 5 spot. Let's see what he can do. He still has a shot at winning this thing, even though he was involved in an incident on lap 1. A lot can change here at Daytona International Speedway in just the first 50 laps of a race or any race, and it's definitely showing it right now. Pace car is going to be leading down turn 3 and 4. Pace car will turn to the left down the pit road, and we're going to unleash these another time. And Gary Whitson, he spun down in 3 and 4. He's in 7th place yet, so he still has a shot at winning this thing. And these guys are done pitting now, I bet. If we do get another caution, you might see some guys go down pit road for some tires just because of the handling issue down in the turn number 3 when you get on corner entry. So that might play a factor as well. Here we go, coming off turn number 4. Pace car is going to unleash these guys. Matthew Mara going to hit the gas. There's a car in the back of the pack that is catching up, but nonetheless, here we go. Green flag is out, bringing them down really slow, but that's always a good thing. Matthew Mara side by side with Adam Jersky down into turn, going to be entering turn number 1 here pretty shortly. Got to get up to speed. It usually takes about a full speed to get up the, usually a whole lap to get up to speed, actually. Especially in these NASCAR Xfinity cars. Scott Eckert's really pushing that 71 machine, telling him to get going. The number 22 machine down there, that's Jordan Hightower. He is pushing all he can to Matthew Mara. Matthew Mara, I tell you what, he's in the catbird seat. He wants that position. We've already seen how hard it is to actually take the lead away.
You see that inside line starting to roll. Cohan there in the 21 car. Tommy Ryan back there in the 6. Brian Yazik back there in the 55. 5th car, 6th car in that inside line as they roll down side by side. As we been green now for 2 laps. We have 24 to go. And wow, I don't know who led that lap. I think Mara by about a nose.
Oh, that would have been probably the closest finish in Daytona history.
Oh, Denny Hamlin's on line 1 waiting to talk to you. Ooh, Jersky getting a little Jimmy legs there.
Yeah, just a little bit. He's pinching down Mara just a little bit. Little pushing going on there.
Oh, 08's leaving the bottom. Don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that, but he might be doing that 22 car a favor. Look at Cohan
through
the middle. Behind him is Mr. Excitement, Drew Carroll. Where did he come from?
And here comes Eckert. It's going to get help in the 29.
Oh, boy. It's getting slicing and dicing.
Oh, trouble. Cohan gets turned in a big one.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. That was bound to happen there, folks. There's a lot of bumping and weaving going around, a lot of air moving around these race cars.
Gary Whitson involved. I saw Drew Carroll going through the grass at 64. Also, Gerald Livingston in it. I was just about to say the loud pedal guys are getting together there as the 29 was pushing to 70, but oh, yeah, Nick Cohan got squeezed.
A little bit. Yeah,
Livingston
got squeezed. Yeah, and that's just a tight squeeze, and one little tap can mean a big disaster.
Wow, that was actually smaller than it looks. A lot of cars going to the grass. Oh, we count 3 cars so far. 4 cars?
I tell you what, could we get an onboard of Brian Yazik getting through that incident? I tell you what, that guy was probably in the gas getting through that incident.
There's some of Yazik in Daytona missing wrecks.
Oh my gosh, I just watched that, and Yazik just squeezed through. Here's a great onboard camera right here. Here we go, entering turn number 3. Yazik's pretty much just riding in line. Not much he can do at the moment. They're 3 wide up there, going to be coming off turn number 4 here, and this is where the incident's going to plague right here. Get on the brakes just a little bit as
maybe a little nose damage. Wow.
Oh, that could have been a lot worse, though. Oh, my goodness.
Let's say that's the second best wreck he's missed this weekend.
They might have a little nose damage.
But what we're going to do, we'll step away real quick. We'll take a break. We'll get ready for the last 20 laps of this NP3 Designs 200. But first, looks like Ryan Krulin up. We're going to go to break, and we'll come back and get you ready for the finisher on the Global Sim Racing channel. Caution number 4 on the track here at the Daytona International Speedway. The NP3 Designs 200, all part of NP3 Designs Speed Weeks, as we're just 2 days away from the Daytona 300 coming up Thursday night. You can watch that here on the Global Sim Racing channel and also on iRacing Live as 43 cars get ready to take the green flag. Now, we do got to do some cleaning up real quickly. Jake Wright, the California driver there in the number 27, he is your Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award winner. There is Mr. Brutus, back from vacation as always. Is Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Coastal Safety Auditor. So Jake Wright got the lucky dog, and we're going to come back. Should get one to go this time by, with Scott Eckrich leading. Lights are off on the pace car, and teammate Paul Pepper, Loud Pedal Motorsports 1-2. And this could be very interesting as we're going to get the green with about 19 laps to go in this race. And Tanner's been up here in the booth, and Tanner, what do you think so far, man? It's been wild.
Man, I'm not even driving. I'm up here in the booth, and my top of the head is already sweating. I have to take a napkin and wipe my forehead off. But man, I tell you what, it's been fast-paced action all day, and we're coming down to it. We got 20 laps to go. We're going to take 19 laps until we get to the checkered flag this upcoming time by. And the mistake I think the 08 made, Matthew Mara, when he lost the race lead on the backstretch, was leaving that little gap open on the bottom side of the racetrack, and all the guys on the high side were just pushing each other like crazy, and he came up just a little bit, and the 22 wasn't 100% lined up with the 08, and that's where the momentum dropped. So I think that was a mistake right there. Kind of got to take care of yourself out there and not take care of your partners.
So we're going to go green as they go through 3 and 4 here. 19 laps to go. And this is very unorthodox for this series. I've watched plenty of Premier Racing League events, and you don't see many cautions like this. Truck race only had 2. The duels only, I think, had 1 or 2 apiece. And we've had 4, including 2 big ones in the first 10 laps of this race. And it's been, maybe they're getting this bad race out of the way tonight so that come Thursday, we might have ourselves a pretty fun one in the second Daytona 300. But first, we got to finish this one. We're going to have 19 laps to go. The Loud Pedal Motorsports 1-2 here with Eckrich and Pepper. Eckrich is going to get the jump and move down in front of Pepper, or maybe not. Pepper gets a good start.
What a start by Paul Pepper in that number 29 machine. He's getting a punt and a push from the number 71 of Adam Jersky. Matthew Mara and Scott Eckrich on the high side of the racetrack trying to get the race lead, but they're not going to get it this time around in 1 and 2 as these cars are still trying to get up to speed. And here comes Brian Yazik up towards the top 5 for the first time today.
I think there was some kind of backfires. Jersky's going to move to the top of the lead.
Yep, what a move. That was a perfect move.
Eckrich 3 wide.
Oh, 3 wide for the race lead. And these guys are in the second hole.
Oh, this looks familiar. I think we had the same thing in a truck race Sunday night. Here comes another row 3 wide.
Oh yeah, we're developing things now here, folks. This is serious business now. 3 wide through the travel. Look at this, 3 by 3 by 3.
Eckrich trying to fit a gap there, and he got in line. Wow. But I was going to say, I think there was supposed to be a plan I wanted to check after the race with Eckrich and Pepper. Some reason they didn't come together, and Sergeant Pepper went Lonely Hearts Club on the inside.
Yeah, Sergeant Pepper. He's doing everything he can. He's trying to hold that bottom line, hugging that yellow line. That yellow line down there is his best friend right now.
71 of Jersky. There's the 6. Tommy Ryan, the pole sitter for the 300 up there on the outside. Brian Yazik on the inside. And the 25 is Skrupa. Remember the penalty he had earlier? He's 7th.
Yep, he's back, and he's 7th place, trying to hunt for more, doing everything he can, being patient on the inside row. Nowhere to go at this junction of the race so far.
What a way if Pepper can win this race to get himself kind of out of the doghouse. After the race Thursday night in the second duels, a lot of people were kind of unhappy with how he started the big one, as they said, in that second race, and said that could have been avoided. This could be a big win for him tonight if he can get to victory lane. And oh, look now, here comes that 12. You see that familiar old school Bush scheme in the back of Woodrow Mahan, I believe that is.
Yep, Woodrow Mahan, man, where did he come? I mean, there's a lot of drivers in this pack. I could say, where did they come from? Woodrow Mahan in the 12 car. He's driving a Bush scheme there. That's a good looking Bush scheme, I may add. and he's been in that pack with Brian Yazik pretty much in the early junction of the race too. So
he only got about 14 cars in this lead draft now. You see James Krahula, he's the first one outside of this pack of 10 cars here in that 4. Got the 96 back there with him of Stevie Minson, the Virginia driver there. John Sterling also in that pack.
Yep, also in that pack. And I tell you what there, Chris, about a second and a half separates the top 14 cars, and there's still someone pretty much in this draft yet. Some guys run single file, doing everything they can to keep up. But I tell you what, this is side by side for about all the way back to about 10th place.
Jersky had the lead there for a second. In the tri-oval this time, Jersky leads that lap. That's another lead change. I know we're up to probably a bunch here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Going to come up on some lap traffic here. Hopefully they'll stay high and everything will stay clean. But I'm just looking here at the Loud Pedal Motorsports guys. You got Paul Pepper on the inside, their first car. You got third row outside is Scott Eckert. You got the fourth row outside in Michael Krolbach, who just got the lucky dog a second ago. Ryan Yazik third inside. There's 4 Loud Pedal Motorsports cars right there in this front 10 pack.
Yeah, you got all your teammates up there, and you're just hoping one of them is going to win. And that's a good thing to have all your teammates in that pack, because if you're lined up with them, you can work with them.
Oh, another name in there. He's a lap down, but look at the last car on the outside line. There's Cody Welker, who was in that wreck. He's a lap down. But Welker, he's not scared to make any moves.
He's not scared to make any kind of move, so he could be the beneficiary of helping someone to victory lane tonight. But as of right now, he's in the back of the pack. Nowhere to go at this point.
Nonetheless, these guys are battling. Got that 22 car that the driver Jordan Hightower running that Penske paint scheme from the Charlotte Xfinity race from last October. Logano took that same exact paint scheme to victory lane, actually.
Very, very cool. Tell you what, I don't know. I think Mr. Brian Yazik's doing all right. He may have some little note.
96 going to the high side, 3 wide.
That's Steve Minson on the high side, 3 wide.
Oh, whoa. Mahan almost got it. Look who's going with him. Here's that 2 car.
Yep, and that 2 car could play spoiler.
Oh, this is going to get good. Lap car up ahead.
Oh no.
4 wide.
4 wide at Daytona. Backstretch. Wow.
They made it work. And Mr. Ambrose said to me Thursday night, you couldn't go 4 wide at Daytona.
Someone asked me, have you ever? I'm like, well, a couple of times.
No, that's when you say, no, I never.
No, actually, I have a couple times.
12 laps to go. Pepper leads that one.
Yeah, Pepper led that one last time by at the start-finish line. Still trying to get that inside line going. We're seeing some aggressive moves, and I'd say this is the time to make them now, because it is taking a while to get up towards the front, and the only battle for the race leads between Paul Pepper and Adam Jersky. Jersky gets run on the high side. Ooh, he almost got cleared.
Well, I was watching the 29. I was watching the 29 of Pepper. He was giving 22 some air, and then 22 almost got under him.
Steve Meissen on the very high side of the racetrack, going 3 wide, putting the number 7 machine of Michael Krolbach in the middle.
Oh, Eckert's up there with him.
Oh, man, we're beating banging 3 wide through the tri-oval.
Oh, we got more lap cars.
Yeah, they're swapping position. Actually,
Cohan goes to the apron. Smart move.
Very smart move. Oh, car in the wall, number 92.
That's where you got to be careful with driving behind you.
Yep. Tell you what, I think Steve Minson's got, I tell you what, he's got a drafting partner. It might be a lap down car, but he's still able to run up with the lead pack. And he might play spoiler. Here they go again, looking towards that outside lane. No big run yet.
29 of Pepper. He's got Hightower behind him. You got the 55 of Yazik, the 25 of Skrupa.
10 to go.
10 to go. 25 miles as we ride on board with Stevie Minson.
This is all I'm hearing. The clock it's ticking louder.
And Minson, we could say pull the upset. Can he get up there from the 8th position? Can Paul Pepper redeem himself from the duels? Can Tommy Ryan kind of put an exclamation point after winning the pole for the 300. Can he come and win it?
Lots of big stories just in this little pack up here, racing for the race lead here, Chris.
An inside line starting to truck a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Tommy Ryan getting close to the 22.
Oh,
Eckrich to the high side.
Getting close, starting to go 3 wide, clear tri-oval. Eckrich making moves along with Minson and the number 2 of Welker. Here we go. It is time to go. They know it.
Ooh, Krolak.
Oh, they dumped Eckrich. Oh, no.
Krolak had to get out of it. He almost made contact with the 2 mid-pack.
Eckrich stuck in a high side. That very high side is the sucker hole up there for now. Oh, he's got drafting help from Woodrow Mahan.
I believe Mahan's another loud pedal car.
Oh, man, fantastic racing from these drivers up towards the front here. We're coming down to it. They know it. We know it. A lot of people know it. And, contact! Oh!
Saved! Glove save and immunity.
Oh, man, swing and a miss. Oh, man, we're coming up on lap cars, and they're side by side. Oh,
I think if they're smart, they'll get off the track.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree, unless they want to go 5 wide.
Brian getting squeezed.
Oh, look at Jersky. What is he going to do? He keeps
contact! Eckrich in the wall. More contact.
Oh, big accident at Daytona. Oh, another one, number 2, hard into the wall down in turn number 3.
Eckrich gets a piece. I think the 22 turned him. Krolbach with heavy damage.
Oh, man. They were coming up on lap traffic, too.
Stevie Minson getting some damage in the 96.
Now, here's what I see on the backstretch. Adam Jersky's doing everything he can to protect his race lead. He realized Eckrich is going to have a run. He went up there. I think it was too little too late. That put Eckrich into the outside wall. And looked like the 96 machine accidentally may have clipped the 29 of Paul Pepper.
Nice save by Pepper. And once again, Brian Yazik.
He did.
He made it through.
He may have touched him, but oh my gosh. He's got some damage, but overall he made it through. Yeah, Brian Yazik did get hit in this incident. He almost lost it down entering turn number 3 here, as we'll see an onboard of Brian Yazik. As right now there's nowhere for him to go down turn, coming off turn number 2 here. They're 3 wide. Where are you going to go? Nowhere.
Should mention Mara also smoking, so he's got damage from this wreck.
Accident happens, and Yazik's doing everything he can to check up.
He got clipped there.
Clipped there, and then transitioning into the racetrack. Yep. He's got some right rear damage from that wall.
Little tank slapper in the wall.
Yep.
So that's the 5th caution with 7 laps to go. I think we are going to see potentially close to a green-white checkered. And if I'm seeing this right, Gary Whitson is going to be your Coastal Safety Auditor's Lucky Dog Award winner. We'll see if he gets the waiver on here.
Did he take it?
Yeah, he's at the back of the pack. Yep, he's getting the waiver on right now. So the Coastal Safety Auditor's Lucky Dog Award goes to Gary Whitson as Q Brutus. Of course, Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Gary Whitson, your Lucky Dog Award. He'll move up to the 17th position and be the last car in the lead lap as of right now, depending on how these other cars have to fix their damage. But let's go up to the front here because we have a situation on our hands. Adam Jersky is going to be the leader in the 71 car. You got Tommy Ryan in second, Paul Pepper. Somehow Scott Eckrich is still 4th. Woodrow Mahan 5th. Jordan Hightower 6th. Brian Yazik 7th. John Sterling in 8th. Josh Skrupa in 9th. And Gerald Livingston your top 10. And one thing I do want to pass along to the viewers, if they didn't see it in chat, apparently Travis McQuiston has won the second split race, we'll call it, for the Premier Racing League. So congratulations to Travis on his victory tonight.
Very good job there, Travis. He's a good restrictor plate racer. I've raced with him in restrictor plate racing before. That's really good that he got to go to victory lane in the second split.
Tommy Ryan, or not Tommy Ryan, but James Grahula being told is smoking also now in the 4 car.
A lot of drivers are really hoping to get out of Daytona and move on to the next race.
Which it does get easier. I believe the schedule, if I saw it correctly, next week is the Phoenix International Raceway for these cars. So just when you think it gets easier.
Yeah, and Phoenix is a tough track. A lot of people don't think it's tough, but it is a tough track. I know a lot of people on iRacing here just ran Phoenix last week, and some of them got loose entering the corner and a lot of cautions.
Those pace car lights are still on. We're gonna have we're at 5 to go now. We should get 1 to go next time and see a 3-lap restart. That'll get us to the checkered flag.
Yeah, this is where 3 wide is really going to come into play right here, and there's no lap car that's going to play a factor in probably the outcome of this race. I just wonder if Scott Eckert has a machine to keep up the pace. I do see a lot of heavy damage on that number 70 machine. Front end's wrinkled up and stuff. I just don't know if he's going to be able to keep pace, because you want every part of that race car crystal clean, because aerodynamic is so sensitive on restrictor plate tracks.
Now here's the situation you're going to have. Let's try to set this up as best as possible for all the drivers. You're going to have Adam Jersky, the leader. He's going to probably take the inside line. You're going to have Tommy Ryan on the outside line. Now, let's look at the second row behind him. Paul Pepper might have a little bit of door damage on the right side. And then you got the heavily damaged number 70 of Scott Eckert behind Tommy Ryan. So chances are Ryan is not going to have somebody pushing him. Or at least it's going to be able to stick up with him. But then you look on the inside line, Woodrow Mahan, the 12's got some damage. So he's going to be trying to push Pepper, and then you got the 22's got some damage. So this is going to get really interesting. I know the truck race, actually Sunday night when it came to the finish, we had, it was the dual race Thursday night, where we had cars back in 8th or 9th that were able to swing right around everybody to get to the front 3, and we almost had an upset in that race. Could we see a similar spot here where somebody, say, looking at names here, maybe a Jeff Ward, who's in 10th right now, somebody with no damage, a John Wilco, swing around these cars in the draft with no damage and just swing to the front? We're going to find out. Eckert, you mentioned, came to pit road to get that nose damage fixed.
Tell you what, I'm just looking at the top 10 of these cars up here. I think I only see about 2 cars that don't have damage or some sort of damage.
Look at this. Jersky took the high line.
Yeah, now if he's going to want a good restart right here, because that 12 car does have some nose damage, and I don't know how well he's going to be able to push Adam Jersky. So Adam Jersky, when that pace car drops, you better go and pass that start-finish line and tuck right in front of Tommy Ryan.
One, the thing about it, too, at Daytona, is the restart happens really quick. When that pace car pulls off, that green usually comes right after. It's not as quick as Pocono, but it's quick.
It's definitely is quick, so you just got to time it correctly.
We're going to see. We're going to have 3 laps to go when we go green. Who is going to pull out the opener here in the NP3 Designs 200? Race 1 of 34. And the SIMRacingApps Grand National Series. See Jersky kind of slowing him up a little bit. The pace car kind of getting a little bit of a lead out there. That usually tells me he's going to get a jump.
Yeah, you got to be careful too with bringing him down early.
Well, as soon as the pace car gets all 4 wheels underneath, they can go.
He better go too, and better get in front of Tommy Ryan.
He's already ahead of Ryan right now. He's going to get the jump big time here, I think. Here he goes. He's on it. Tommy Ryan gets a really good jump, though.
Not going to clear him. Tommy Ryan will have that preferred line on the inside row. Now he's going to need Now he has to rely on Woodrow Mahan on that high side pushing him.
We'll see if that 12 can push.
Tommy Ryan on the inside. They're pinching each other just a little bit. Door to door. Off of turn number 2. With 3 laps remaining in Daytona.
Oh, don't go to the high side. Oh, wow.
The next flag ends the race. Paul Pepper to the inside. I thought he was almost done when that caution came out.
I'm surprised that Tommy Ryan moved to the high side there, and he's going to bring Hightower with him.
Oh, Mahan slid up the racetrack. Oh, boy, we're getting dicey.
Look at John Sterling, the 86 on the inside. I mentioned the guys with no damage.
And Brian Yazek still catching these guys. Wow. 2 laps to go this time by.
Paul Pepper looking to go to victory lane here. Can he hold on? Here comes Tommy Ryan with John.
Oh, huge accident! Big accident off of the tri-oval, and that will end the race. And I think Paul Pepper got him.
Yeah, I think Pepper's going to win it, but Josh Skarupa went flipping.
Yeah, Josh Krupa had some hang time there. And
Norman Peltier's got damage. Jeff Ryan with damage, and that's it.
They were really aggressively racing with each other back here for about 17th, 18th spot. Oh, and looked like the 77 machine there snapped loose. I think that was Rich Jetty through the tri-oval. Ed Gary Whitson hard into the outside wall, safer barrier for Josh Skrupa. This takes out a lot of cars.
Yeah, Paul Pepper is taking the white flag here. He's almost doing a Dale Earnhardt type of lap here, like in '98 when he won the 500. He's like, I'm not slowing down. I'm just going to get the checkered.
Yeah, definitely. And it took Earnhardt 20 years to win the Daytona 500. But this is the different race than the Daytona 300 or / Daytona 500. But that's besides the point. You still want to say you won at Daytona.
That's always a good resume builder right there for Paul Pepper, and he's going to kind of redeem himself as you ride on board with Rich Jetty.
And luckily, he just snapped loose. Nonetheless, Paul Pepper down in turn 3 and 4. Chris is going to come and take the checkered flag.
Looks like he got hit. I can't tell, though. The way that car just kind of snapped. Looked like he got hit, but we're going to come back to live here, and cars are coming through turn 3 and 4.
Yes, sir. Paul Pepper.
And
what a way.
Pepper's going to end up Thursday night. Had an accident with about 3 or 4 laps to go that took out a good portion of the field. A lot were mad, but tonight he redeems himself. For Loud Pedal Motorsports is the 29 of Paul Pepper is going to win the NP3 Design 200 at Daytona to open up the season for the SIMRacingApps Grand National Series. Tommy Ryan going to get second. Jordan Hightower going to get third. Adam Jersky, John Sterling going to be your top 5. And what we'll do is we'll regroup. We'll interview the top 3, and we'll wrap up here from the Daytona International Speedway. It's been a wild one, but we do have a winner in Paul Pepper, and we'll talk to him next on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Well, it was a little bit of a wreck fest here tonight in Daytona, but it was some wild action, and when it was all over with, it was Paul Pepper leaving the field salty with his victory as he goes to victory lane in the number 29. Congratulations to Paul Pepper. Tommy Ryan, the pole sitter for the 300, he finishes second. Jordan Hightower third. Adam Chersky, who I think he's probably biting himself right now, thinking I should have started on that inside line on the restart. But you know what? He still gets a good fourth place run there. John Sterling finishing fifth.
Outside the top 5, Jared Livingston finishing in 6th tonight. Woodrow Mahan in 7th place. John Wilco, we haven't spoke about him too much tonight. He'll get a solid top 10 finish in 8th. Brian Yazik had a very up and down evening. He's going to collect a 9th place finish. Rounding out the top 10 is Jeff Ward.
Should mention Wilco and Jeff Ward both had the incidents on pit road where they were spinning on the apron, so good bounce backs for them. Gary Whitson going to finish 11th. Stevie Minson going to get 12th. Josh Grupa had that hard flip there at the end, finishing 13th. Tyler Dalton 14th. Norman Peltier to 3rd, finishing 15th.
In 16th place is tonight Colston Bermudski, who will finish in the 16th position. J.D. Laird in 17th. Scott Eckrich in 18th. Rich Jetty in the 19th spot. Rounding out the top 20 is the 88 of Jeff Ryan.
Looking through the rest of your field, James Krahula finishing 21st, Michael Krobach 22nd, Matthew Marr led some laps early, 23rd, Jake Wright didn't have the best of nights, he finished 24th, Nick Cohan definitely didn't have a good night, 25th, Cody Welker finishing 26th, Pierre Deigel 27th, Mr. Excitement, Drew Carroll, all these cars off the track for the most part, 28th, Tony Scho in 29th, Jason Galvin 30th.
Will Worsler 31st. Tim Johnston will finish in the 32nd position. 33rd, Doy Woods, R.J. Williams in 34th. Ryan Howard 35th. Jeff Gow in the 36th position. Joe Hazard in 37th. Paul Cooper 38th. Bryce Whitson will finish 39th. Chad Coleman rounds out the top 40. 41st, pole sitter Tanner Stoops. Alan Creer in 42nd, and rounding out the 43 car field that started the race tonight is Devin Kennan.
So there you go, your final 43 starters. Right now, I'm down in Victory Lane, going to celebrate with Paul Pepper from Loud Pedal Motorsports, getting his first win of the season. Let's get him down here, and there we go. Hey, Paul, congratulations on your win. Is it safe to say that you kind of made up for the whole Thursday night incident?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the drop the mic moment there. I messed up for real in that Thursday race, just trying to push it. And tonight my strategy was completely different. Just hang at the back, let the wrecks happen, stay out of the trouble. And man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
So talk about the restart there. Were you surprised to see Adam take the high line?
Either way, I knew we were starting on the bottom, so I knew Tommy and Adam both had fast cars. Unfortunately, some of my teammates got caught up in some stuff, and they were behind us. But I just my plan was pushing, and Jordan Hightower helped me out a lot there the last 15 laps or so, and Tommy came off that yellow line coming out of 2, and I just took advantage of it right away.
Yeah, it was definitely some great racing out there. Had some wrecks at the beginning. Talk about how you just handled getting through those and trying to keep yourself calm to work your way through the field.
I just shut my eyes and hope for the best.
There you go. Usually works.
Yeah. No, we had a plan, all us at LPM, that we were going to hang at the back and just judging by how practice was. I mean, there's a lot of cars in practice, but just judging how practice was, we knew there was going to be some wrecks, and a couple of them happened right in front of us, and just tried to stay off the main pack as much as we could without losing the draft, and stay out of those big wrecks that happened.
I'm just looking here on chat, and Don Runkle posted what I think might be one of the best hashtags, and I think we're going to use it tonight for you being the winner tonight of the NP3 Designs 200 hashtag ground pepper. Nice job, Pepper.
Yeah, that's it was ground pepper in a bad way last week when got in the dual wreck.
Spicy
there.
peppers.
But, yeah, exactly. But I just want to give a big shout out to my whole team at Loud Pedal Motorsports, Brian and Michael for asking me to come into this deal last year. It was hard leaving the Unacceptable team and those guys. They were great to me last year. But I just figured that guys with Brian, Mike, Scott, Woodrow, all those boys, Drew Carroll. It's just so much talent on that team, and Jeff Ward too. I couldn't. That's an opportunity I couldn't give away. So big thanks to all all my boys over at Loud Pedal Motorsports. It's nice to start the season off with a win, and especially at Daytona. That's 2 in a row, winning the Firecracker at 150 or whatever it was last year, and then winning this one here it's unreal. And I just can't believe we won, and super pumped. And thanks you guys for the broadcast. This is awesome, absolutely awesome.
So I'm going to let you do your mic drop here, Mr. Pepper, as, again, you did take a pretty good beating Thursday, so who's salty now?
That's right, who's salty now? I guess the rest of the field's salty.
Nice job, Paul. Congratulations on your win.
Thanks, man. Can't wait for Thursday, and heck of a win. Pumped up here.
Absolutely. Paul Pepper, winner of the NP3 Designs 200, his second straight Daytona win. As he mentioned, winning the summer race earlier this year. Tanner is caught up with the pole sitter for Thursday, but also second place finisher tonight, Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, I'm catching with Tommy Ryan here, and Tommy, you got to be pretty satisfied the way your speed week's going down in Daytona. And I tell you what, you started in the up towards the front tonight, and you sat in the pole for the Daytona 300. How are you feeling after finishing second today?
I actually felt like I could have got a little more there if it would have stayed green. The top was prevailing really nice out of a turn, well, out of both corners, really, out of 2 and 4. And man, I was kind of inching up the pole there, and I really felt like the top lane was going to prevail there coming through the checker, but obviously it came out a little sooner than I expected. But you know, me and Paul, we were teammates. Obviously, he was talking about that, so you know, we're still friends, and we're still help each other when we can. So he was kind of helping me there, and I just felt like I was doing what I needed to do to win, but yellow came out a little quick.
Yeah, definitely. And now just kind of looking at the finishing order here at Daytona after 80 laps. Honestly, you were up front throughout the entire race, and just the finishing order here, you're probably the only one that started up there, stayed up there, and finished up there. And whenever you're racing at a plate track at Daytona, that's quite an accomplishment. Yeah,
track position's a lot of it. If you can qualify and just stay out of trouble. And man, there was a couple of them right in front of me, and that was just a lot of that was just blind luck, man, of me missing the wreck. But you just you try to make the best decisions that you can, and just hope for the best. And you know, so yeah, you're right. So far, Daytona's been good to me this week. I'm hoping it's going to be even better to me here come Thursday.
Yeah, definitely, and it's coming up really, really quick too. And now here at Daytona, I have one question to ask you, and your opinion about drafting at Daytona. Obviously, you've drafted already in the qualifying races at Daytona, in the Cup cars and the B cars. Is there a difference, in your opinion, between the two cars and how they draft at Daytona?
Oh yeah, the B cars, man, they pulled up really nice. The Cup car, you've got to really work the air to make something happen. It's really easy to lose that draft if you're near the back. So it's a lot different, I would say. It's probably a little more fun in the trucks and the Xfinity or this car here, the B car. But yeah, there is.
All right there, Tommy. Now, since you've started off a great season for the 2017 Premier Racing League SIMRacingApps Grand National Series, you walk into Homestead Miami Speedway. How do you feel about your chances on winning that race?
Not real good. Man, I'm terrible there. I cannot keep the right front tire on the car. Got it, man. I had a rough race there the last race of the season. Oh man. No, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm just looking to get in there, and hopefully I'll get us somewhere in the top 10. But winning would be like winning the lottery for me there.
All right, Tommy. Well, we thank you for taking your time to come talk with us tonight. Congratulations on your second place finish, and we will see you in future races for sure. Look forward to seeing you in Victory Lane again.
Yeah, man, I'm sure I'll get there. Northern Tool and Equipment sponsoring me again, and obviously Patriot Fire and Coastal Safety Auditors co-sponsors. So check out Unacceptable Facebook page. Always fun stuff over there, and see you guys next week.
All All right, that was Tommy Ryan finishing in the second position tonight. Phenomenal run for Tommy Ryan, I may add. And Chris, I don't know if you've caught up with any other drivers, but we've seen a heck of a Daytona race.
Yeah, we're still trying to catch word with Hightower, who finished third, but been running up and down a lot. But running through the area here just gets really tired, and I can't even think of the word. That's how tired I am from running around here through the garage area. There's the word I'm looking for. But now while we're here, Tanner, tell us your final thoughts here, man. This is definitely a fun race to be a part of. A little bit of wrecking going on here and there, but definitely added drama.
Yeah, and as I said at the top of the show, they'll call in Premier Racing League will call the Daytona 300 their Great American Race, or in real life it's called the Daytona 500 the Great American Race. Tonight, I called it the Great Unpredictable Race because there was just so many different leaders in this race, especially after pit stops. We just seen a whole new ball game of new players. So definitely a mixture there. I liked seeing that. I don't ever like seeing wrecks at restricted plate tracks or any other track, but I love the racing that these guys perform, especially in these NASCAR Xfinity cars here on iRacing. These cars draft really well, just like what Tommy Ryan said, and I'm really looking forward to future races.
Well, Tanner, you said the Great Unpredictable Race. We'll get ready for Thursday night in the Great Simulation Race, as I've titled it, the Daytona 300 coming up on Thursday with the Premier Racing League. And a special thanks to the Premier Racing League for putting on the SIMRacingApps Grand National Series. Also thanks to the software and hardware that we use for the broadcast that you can see on your screen right now. Go ahead, Tanner.
Also, thanks to our musical contributors, Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, whose music you can find at the websites listed. For more information about future races, you can see on the screen or go to www.globalsimracingchannel.com, where you can check out our past broadcasts and as well see the future schedule.
Also, we have a Twitter account. You can check us out at GSR Channel and Facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. The next time we're going to be on the air for the Premier Racing League is Thursday, the Patriot Fire Cup Series, the second annual Daytona 300. Again, last season, Dan Murray went to victory lane, and it's going to be a pretty fun night come Thursday, just 2 days away. Sean Ambrose will join me in the booth for that. But for Dougie Beard, Joe Peak, Tanner Sharp, nice job tonight, my friend. Also want to send a shout out to Adam Strachan, who showed us or helped us out tonight. He was behind the scenes helping us out. Want to give Adam a shout out and say nice job, my friend. And until then, I'm Chris Scala. Race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.